Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the pro wrestling world was waiting for that interview that was conducted by a Stamford stooge. It's lost in the mid-card. We are back. A quick turnaround because we had that special Friday show for you. We are back 5 days later on Wednesday. We are recording on Tuesday, fresh off of the biggest Impact Wrestling in a long time. We won't know television numbers until tomorrow, but we do know Twitch numbers, and they were basically quadruple of what they usually are.
Like 10 times, man.
Oh, I thought they were usually about 10,000.
No, dude, they're normally like 3,000 to 4,000 on an average week.
And they were about 40,000 tonight.
In the Omega segment, they were at like 55,000.
Woo.
They surpassed over 50,000 viewers during that Omega segment to close the night.
So literally,
success? I think so.
Yeah. So literally, Impact off the air about half an hour ago. So here we are. We're gonna talk Impact. We're gonna talk WarGames, and other stuff. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. But like last week, when we came at you on a Friday because we saw winter coming, it's always good to subscribe so you know when a new episode comes your way. You also can subscribe to us on the YouTube where you can see my smiling face. And eventually, after this COVID shit is over, you can see Matt's smiling face again. And then hopefully we'll see Daryl's smiling face again as well. But the link to the YouTube is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, or the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of great tweets from the wrestling world. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I am doing well, my friend. It was a fun episode of Impact. A very enjoyable main event segment with the cleaner. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next on Dynamite tomorrow night.
Yeah, a tease. Obviously, we'll get into once we get to the end of Impact. Couple teases at the end of the night. We'll get into. First, we have the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, taking on Chris Sabin from the Motor City Machine Guns. But before that, a bus. Was it the Lex Express? A bus driving around.
I can't believe they referenced the Lex Express.
A bus driving around Nashville, Tennessee, where Impact is taped. Josh Matthews lets us know that he has access to that bus, and we'll conduct an interview with Callis and Omega later on. Well, basically the end of the show. Because where else are you going to put that segment, huh?
No, look, I heard that there were some people in the Twitch chat complaining that they were dragging it out. But here's the deal, people. If they'd have put that on at the top of the hour or even right as the show began.
Bye-bye viewership.
Yeah, the viewership would have tanked.
They ain't dumb.
They were extremely intelligent, in how they handled this.
I heard there was a lot of marks on the Twitch chat. A lot of AEW versus Twitter or Impact marks on Twitch.
I hate it. Yeah, can't we get along at this point? The companies are working together right now. Does there really need to be a war between the fan bases right now when the companies are working together?
Yeah, it's like the AEW marks that
grow up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the AEW marks that never watch the Impact product, probably making fun of it, and then the Twitch or the Impact folks that are always on there tired, not enjoying the invasion of the chat, so to speak, getting heavily increased. I didn't, obviously I watch on Access, so I should be watching on Twitch because I found out I was missing out on some Steiner math on commercial breaks.
I watched on Access. I got the updates throughout the evening about what was going on Twitch from several people, but I was definitely focused on the actual programming on television.
Was that an ad for the Talkin shop, or well, no, what was the Steiner math for? Maybe Impact, maybe
what they do on Twitch is during the commercial breaks that we see on Access, they air classic like footage.
Oh,
like
so they showed the Steiner math clip.
Yes, like you would see them do. Sometimes they do, like, they advertise the Impact Plus app and they throw like a classic match on the broadcast or whatever. I'm sure whatever match they're probably planning on putting on tonight was cut out in order to put this Omega segment on.
Yeah.
Since they just threw it at the end of the show, and normally that thing would be somewhere in the middle. And that's how I think they made everything work tonight. They had that time spot already reserved for what they normally do. It made everything easier.
I mean, before the bombshell that dropped on Wednesday, we already had a good card set up for Impact this week. And so the people that, I mean, probably by design, because obviously Impact probably knew what was going down. And so they kind of, I wouldn't say they didn't really load the card up, but it was a quality card tonight. It was overall, obviously the anticipation of Omega is exciting, but overall it was a good Impact tonight. Very good matches. Not much in the way of clunkers on the show tonight. A good match to kick off Impact. The walking weapon, Josh Alexander from the North, taking on Chris Sabin from the Motor City Machine Guns. Very fun match there with Sabin getting the win at the end. And Josh Matthews and Madison Rain talk about the upcoming night, and funny that they dropped that the Good Brothers must be excited that Kenny Omega is there at Impact tonight.
Yeah, kind of disappointed we didn't have any Good Brothers on the show tonight.
Yeah, at all. I wonder if their match was the one that got cut. Wouldn't that be ironic?
No, they wouldn't be doing anything like that. Like I said, I meant by what got cut is what they normally put on every week, like their flashback matches.
Oh yeah, the flashbacks. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's basically what they put in their commercial breaks on Twitch.
Oh.
So that's where people were seeing, there was, old classic matches of the Steiner math and the stuff like that. So,
Chris Bay coming backstage talking to Moose, wanting to go over strategy for their big tag match against Willie Mack and Rich Swann tonight. But Moose was kind of off in his own world there. And then we go to a paid advertisement from AEW with Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone. This was fucking great. It was retro as fuck. I loved it. Khan started off by saying he could have filed an injunction or suspended Kenny Omega to stop him from appearing tonight on Impact, but was going to handle this another way by spending money with this paid ad to assist the budget of Impact. To let fans also know to tune into Dynamite tomorrow. He said his only problem was the disgraceful way that Omega and Callis stole and won the AEW title. He invited Don Callis to come back to AEW with Omega tomorrow night. They also ran down the card for Dynamite tomorrow. And said he has some investments in Nashville, and there's been rumors that he's going to buy Impact. And then Tony goes, Khan goes to Shivani. Hey, Tony, didn't you have a cup of coffee in Impact Wrestling once? Also, Khan shilling that he's happy to bring back Sting and talk to him tomorrow. This was fucking great, wasn't it, Matt?
The only thing I'm not sure I'm overly thrilled about is that AEW Dynamite has been around since October of last year. Okay, 14 months, essentially. And at this point, Tony Khan has spoke more on Impact Wrestling than he has in the entire 14 months of his own company's existence. I just find that to be a little weird.
Well, I think
weird.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I don't think he really wanted to be a Vince McMahon and be on TV.
Yeah, I get it, but I feel like they're going in the direction where he's not going to have much of a choice.
Now, maybe.
Like, I feel like we might actually see him on Dynamite tomorrow.
Especially with, like, the end of Impact, or the end of Dynamite, you know, when Tony Khan's like, what the fuck? And Don and Kenny hightail it out.
Yeah.
I think we are going to see more Khan. And I think Tony knows not to overdo it like Vince did. So
no, because I don't think Tony doesn't want to be the center of attention.
No,
but I mean,
are you trying to say Vince does?
Yes, I am. And if he still thought he looked good at his age, he would be the center of attention on television right now.
Yeah, that's why he's not on TV much anymore. But Jesus,
because he looks every bit of the age that he is right now.
I mean, Jesus Christ! Tonight was all about Kenny Omega. Tomorrow night is going to be about Kenny Omega, but it's also going to be about because, man,
Shock.
Wednesday last week was.
Don't forget about Shock.
Who? Oh shit!
Shock. Hey, talk to Tony.
Hey, Cody.
Talk to Tony.
I got that coming up at headlines. Some details of, hey, Cody, how's my ass taste? Oh,
wait, what?
T-shirt. Don't you remember his diss track when he goes? I kept saying, "Hey, Kobe, how does my ass taste?"
Oh, okay.
And so I said, "Hey, Cody."
All right, got it.
Hey, Cody, how's my ass taste?
Yeah, I'm sure he regrets that now.
Well, now.
Yeah.
One of the
seems like everybody who writes a rap album ends up regretting it later.
Yeah, probably. And speaking of which, I think I just saw Swerve said he just dropped an album. I saw something briefly on Twitter tonight, but I didn't read it all. A lot to take in on Twitter. Twitter, man, you know, there's excitement in the pro wrestling air when there is energy on Twitter on Tuesday night, Matt.
It was cool seeing my timeline talking Impact tonight because it's
usually just
not
me.
It's not normally something that I expect to see.
It's probably you reading all my tweets most of the time.
It's normally like you and Ultra Liger and a couple others talking about the show, and other than that, I don't ever really see a whole lot, from fans actually watching. So to see so many people tuning in tonight, to see the Twitch numbers were that great, and I know they're re-airing Impact right now as we record on YouTube and in the Book of Face. So I'm trying to see if I can find out how many viewers are watching Impact right now.
Is it now or Impact in 60 is probably still on, isn't it?
No, Impact. No, they're airing it. They announced earlier this afternoon.
Right away on Twitch?
On YouTube and Facebook, they were going to do an immediate re-airing of Impact from 10 p.m. to midnight.
On Twitch?
No, on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, YouTube and Facebook.
Why you keep going back to Twitch?
Because I didn't know
they trying to get to all the platforms.
I didn't realize they did that YouTube and Facebook.
They don't.
Shit.
They don't.
Oh.
This is how big, the situation was. They have 10,000 people watching on YouTube right now.
Wow. 10,000.
So I mean, you had 55,000 people at the close of the Twitch episode. Right now, 10:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they've got 10,000 people watching the re-airing of the show on YouTube, when the numbers will probably go up as they get closer to the end.
Where are they at? Where are they at in the show there?
Let me click on it and see where they are. They're in the tag match right now with Taya and whoever her partner is, with Kimberly and Taya. Yeah, Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, they got 10,649 people in the chat right now watching.
One of the most looked forward to matches myself for this week was Brian Myers and TJP. That was up next. That definitely did not disappoint. Brian Myers gets the win there. Rohit Raju talking more shit to TJP afterwards. Rohit has definitely grown on me over time since we've gotten back into Impact Wrestling. For those that maybe are just checking us out because of Tuesday, since I did promote the show on Twitter tonight. Matt and I have had a on and off relationship with Impact Wrestling over the 6 years we've been doing this show. Literally, we've started and stopped about 3 or 4 times. So we started again when some of our personal favorite wrestlers, Good Brothers Heath, Brian Myers, joined Impact. So we decided, let's give it a try, and we have liked it so far. And not just the WWE
they
guys.
definitely turned the corner with the new management.
Yeah.
Like they've, slowly but steady wins the race, and Impact is done. I think they've done a very good job of righting that ship right now.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good product. So Brian Myers, TJP again. I was very much looking forward to this, and it was really good. A really good match. Next up, cousin Jake checking on Cody Deaner. Deaner wanted to go at it alone, 1-on-1 against Eric Young, but cousin Jake convinced Cody to at least let him go out there and even up the odds with Joe Doring at ringside.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. So Eric Young, Cody Deaner 1-on-1 with Joe Dirt in Eric's corner. Eric Young got the win off a sick ass pile driver. I don't think the story's over yet. It's kind of interesting because normally you see the Deaners and goofy shit like Wrestle House and The Wedding. And I know this is not over with Eric Young and Cody Deaner. So I'm kind of interested into seeing what they do with the story. Just because
I feel like he's going to end up turning on his brother and joining Young and them.
That's a good point.
Like that Young's little cult thing, because he got into his head that he thinks that he's a nobody and he doesn't matter and whatever. I think this is going to be Young's way of building this little group around him to protect him from everybody else. Because let's just face it, the jobber Young's got with him right now, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that he's tough. I'm not buying that he should be beating up on all these guys that he's beating up. He looks like, the local ham and egger, that you would see at any local pro wrestling indie show that's working the opening contest for a hot dog and a popcorn.
But Matt, I'm not booked.
Are you not booked?
I'm not booked.
Well, I'm sorry about that, man. I can't book you. I ain't got that kind of money.
I am so glad you caught that.
I'll tell you what. I'll get you a trampoline though.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, so I can jump on it with my 2-pound weights. If anybody has no idea what we're talking about, watch Beyond the Mat.
Yeah. And it's been joked about so much in the last 20 years. I think diehard wrestling fans get the joke.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Doring. At first I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. He kind of reminds me of a young Terry Funk, but like tonight, Jesus, he did not move well in the ring. He moved fucking slower than molasses. And so Doring and Young were beating up on the Deaners. And Rhino makes the save. So yeah, it makes complete sense, Matt. Cody turns on cousin Jake, and who evens up the odds? Heath comes back.
Yep.
Makes complete sense.
As far as my understanding, Heath did not have surgery. From my understanding, whatever
heal.
Whatever the issue had was required physical therapy. It wasn't as bad as they thought, and he could be back in like, I think it was like a month and a half, or something along those lines. So when they're ready to, they film TV till the end of the year, from my understanding. Impact's filmed up through 2020. So when they go back to film in 2021,
he'll be ready.
Maybe he's going to be ready by then to go. And I think that's the hope from the company right now too.
I assume that they'll probably book Diener to lose, and then finally turn on his brother and cousin Jake and go from there. Johnny Bravo going nuts backstage. Tommy Dreamer trying to calm him down because Bravo saw Larry D in the back. Dreamer approaches Larry D, and Larry continues to say he was set up. Dreamer says he doesn't care, and Larry D challenges him to a match at Final Resolution, which is this Saturday on your Fight TV and Impact Plus, I assume. And Larry D.
I think it's an Impact Plus show. I don't think it's on Fight.
Oh, Fight doesn't do it? Okay.
Because I mean, it's one of those shows that if you have Impact Plus, it's free. And if you get Impact Plus that day, you get a free 30 days. So I don't think Fight's charging for it. I could be wrong on that.
How much
but
is?
I think it's just through Impact Plus.
How much is Impact Plus?
Let me look it up right now for our listeners.
Free 99.
Well, it's free for 30 days, but after that, it is.
And while you look at that, I'll look for Final Resolution. Oh, it's on. It's on the search. That's because I think they free with Impact Plus, but you have purchase options. You can buy it for $9.99.
So that's what Impact Plus is, $9.99.
No, you could buy the standalone pay-per-view for $9.99. And actually, oddly enough, directly from Fight, you can subscribe to Impact Plus at $7.99 a month, or you can pay $72 for a year, which saves you $2 a month, because 12 times 6 is 72. Steiner math. So yeah, you can buy it for $9.99 or subscribe for $7.99 a month. But we will run that card. We'll run over that card here just after we get done with talking Impact. 6 matches on that card, so we'll discuss that here in a little bit. Honestly, Matt, I think Tommy Dreamer sprayed the cologne.
What you talking about?
He sprayed the cologne to bring out Lawrence, and Lawrence did what he did. Because you notice Larry D does not have any idea what happened. So somebody sprayed the cologne and is framing Larry D, and I think that's Tommy Dreamer.
Carlito cologne?
Well, you know what I'm talking about. The cologne that turns Larry D into Lawrence.
I'm just fucking with you.
A very giddy Scott D'Amore as Tommy Dreamer enters D'Amore's office, and D'Amore warns him of this Omega and Callis being here as the start of something worse. And with as giddy as D'Amore is, some shit's gonna happen in the form of a Tuesday night invasion. I have a feeling. Scott's too giddy. It's gonna go tits up. And I can't wait. Final first round matchup of the Knockouts tag team tournament, featuring Ty and Rosemary against Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly. And as predicted, Ty and Rosemary get the win. They will face Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan in the semis. And on the other end of the semis, Jazz and Jordan Grace take on Nevaeh and Havoc. A very good Final Four. I think it was also a pretty predictable Final Four as well. But very good. Tennille and Caleb with a K wanted to talk about their new team name with Alicia Edwards, but Alicia Edwards was not having it. She's more focused on Eddie Edwards and what's going on with him and Sami Callihan. And so then Tennille says the deal is off for them as a team, and Alicia's like, I don't give a fuck. They're going to team back up. Don't worry. Sami Callihan comes out, cuts a promo. Alicia Edwards comes out and very angrily threatening Sami Callihan, and Callihan says, "Come into this ring, and I'll give you what's coming to you." But Alicia says, "I didn't come alone." There's Eddie Edwards, and Eddie attacking Sami from behind, taking Sami's bat, taking a big swing and a miss. So no long overdue receipt for Eddie Edwards there, as they continue to build that feud. And then we got our final match of the night. What I figure should be the main event for January's Impact pay-per-view, Hard to Kill. Chris Bay and the TNA champion Moose take on the Impact champion Rich Swann and Willie Mack in a really good main event. Chris Bay pinned Mack mainly because Chris Bay's in the title match against Rich Swann on Saturday, so that was to get him over. And the moment everybody was waiting for, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, Josh Matthews. But first, our
tease,
a little Rich Swann tease. Rich Swann wanted to leave the arena, but they would not let him out into the parking lot because that's where the bus was that held Kenny Omega and Don Callis. Does Rich Swann appear on Dynamite tomorrow?
No.
I want it to happen so bad tomorrow.
I think we will see Swann and Omega happen, but I don't think we see Swann and Dynamite tomorrow.
The ultimate goal for all this is Omega going for the Impact title.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly it seems to be that's going to be a potential story.
Josh Matthews enters the bus. Nobody's around right now, but then Omega and Callis emerge. Check out those shades. Some sweet shades Callis has on there. They, as you see here, the nameplate, they took Moxley's nameplate off and put Omega's on. Matthews talking about everything that happened with the and asked how long the Callis Omega partnership began. Before they answered that, they just threw Moxley's nameplate across the bus. Like, get the fuck out of here. Callison mentioned the relationship began 27 years ago when Callis was trained by the Golden Sheik. The Golden Sheik is actually Kenny Omega's uncle. So basically, they talk about how much they're family, the relationship. And he mocked the idea that he came back to do a podcast or announce for New Japan. This was all a part of the plan all along. It was part of the plan when Omega won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It was all part of a plan to go to Tony Khan's house and then be invited back to AEW for Dynamite last week. He says they have changed the business twice. He booked Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, and that's the match that inspired the creation of AEW. He said that everyone is now welcome for that, and they have changed the course of wrestling twice now, and they set the course of history right. Matthews asked if what happened Wednesday tarnished Omega's legacy. Callis started to lose it, but Omega calmed him down and asked Josh to repeat the question. And Omega then mentioned how Callis is like a father figure to him. So after Moxley had knocked out Callis, wouldn't you strike back and get revenge? And that's what he did. They had a gentleman's agreement, but he had to do what needed to be done. He put himself over as having the best matches all around the world. And people wanted to know why he was there and why he's living in style. And he said he's starting to feel like his old self again. Then he went into talking about comic books and collecting comic books, which then led to the tease of him coming for the Impact title. He has a big entrance for tomorrow on Dynamite and teased that he might even fly there on a chopper. And that was the end of what was a very powerful and fun segment to end Impact Wrestling. Matt, what were your thoughts on what happened behind me there?
I loved it. And, I was already excited about Dynamite tomorrow, but I love the fact that as of now, Impact and Dynamite are bridging their shows together. And it's making you excited to see what's next. And in pro wrestling, this is so important to make you want to see something that's going to happen next. Man, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for the future of wrestling right now outside of WWE, because this is such good shit.
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow night, so I got to turn the notifications off again and then head home. I'll be home about half an hour after Dynamite goes off the air. Head home and then see what happens. Man. All about Omega tonight, but don't forget we have Sting tomorrow as well. Tony Schiavone interviewing him. Probably, maybe find a little insight into why Sting is there, what he's going to do. Maybe. We'll see.
I'm certain we'll get a good idea tomorrow night.
All right. Final battle's coming up, but Final Resolution is on Impact Plus and Fight TV on Saturday. 6 matches on the card. Deonna Purrazzo, Rosemary for the Knockouts Championship. I don't foresee a title change there, Matt. Do you?
No.
Larry D, Tommy Dreamer. If Larry D wins, he's a free man, but if Dreamer wins, Larry D goes to jail. I think Larry D goes over. Maybe.
I hope he goes to jail because it'd be funny.
Wait, yeah, he goes to jail, and then we start.
They could get some good silly segments out of that.
Yeah, I agree. And then they start to figure out that that somebody believes him that he got framed, and they start digging into it, and we eventually find out who sprayed that cologne to turn him into Lawrence. This I expect a title change. I don't know who it's going to be though. That's the thing. But there was a title change at the last Impact Plus show, so I think there's going to be a title change in the X division when Rohit Raju has his final defeat Rohit Challenge of 2020. I just don't know who it's going to be.
Pretty sure it's going to be TJP under a mask.
Suicide. I mean, I predicted that like a month ago that TJP would somehow win the title as Suicide or something like that.
Or just a brand new masked character.
Havoc and Nevaeh take on the Sea Stars. Be a good match, but Havoc and Nevaeh are going to win that because they're still in the tournament. Probably, but God, I don't know, man. That match with Jazz and Jordan Grace is gonna I can go either way, can't it? I still lean Havoc and Nevaeh, but I wouldn't be shocked if Jordan Grace and Jazz won that match, Matt.
Yeah, that's that to me. That's one that can go either way, and I guess it all depends on how much Jazz wants to work. So
I would fully expect Ty and Rosemary to win. They have featured Tasha Steelz and Kira on TV a lot, though, but I think
that match can go either way too.
Whoever wins the top of that bracket, like let's say Havoc and Nevaeh against Taya and Rosemary, that's a pay-per-view worthy match. Jazz and Jordan against Taya and Rosemary is a pay-per-view match, but so is Kiera and Tasha. They have been a great team since Tasha's come over from NWA. So it's been a great tournament, and now we get to the unknown. We have no idea who's going to win this, and then we have no idea who's going to win the tournament and become champion. You know, I said Havoc and Nevaeh from the get-go, even before they announced this was going to exist again. But any of those four teams could win the tag titles, and I would be fine with it because all four teams are superb. So it's definitely exciting for the Knockouts division. Ethan Page takes on Carl Anderson. This should be a good match. If Page wins, the North gets a future tag team championship match. If I'm going Carl because there's been rifts in the North, and
I'm hearing Ethan Page's deal's up at the end of the year.
Maybe that's why they keep teasing the split.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan Page signs with AEW.
Maybe that's why they keep teasing the split. Like, he fucked up the match with Alexander. So he screwed that up tonight. He was kind of the cause of Saban getting the win. I think that North dissension continues and Carl wins, but shit, I didn't know that information. So that really solidifies that Carl wins. And man, this is going to be a good match. Chris Bay, Rich Swann for the Impact World Championship. Definitely not going to be a title change, but we're going to be entertained, aren't we, Matt?
Oh, for sure. It'll be good shit, pal.
I hope I keep speaking it into existence using a phrase our friend Daryl uses, because I really want that fatal 4-way at Hard to Kill. But is the Super J Cup at the same time?
I don't know. I'm not sure the time frames for that.
I got an article on Super J Cup, so we'll find out there. Just after Impact went off the air, Mike Johnson, PW Insider presented when that segment was taped. It was taped this past Saturday in Nashville, Tennessee. And obviously they taped that segment with Dreamer and D'Amore. They probably could have taped that earlier, knowing what they know. But they could also have brought Dreamer in to do a quick segment with D'Amore too, sometime in the past week or two. So, Brian Myers is taking part in Best Trivia Ever's Pro Wrestling Virtual Trivia Night on the Sunday, December 20th at 5 Eastern at besttriviaever.com. There is a $15 entrance fee with prizes to the first and second place winner. So I don't know. That might be something. Maybe if you know your trivia, maybe something fun to check out. This week's edition of Impact in 60 featured the X Division. Next week will feature matches between Main Event Mafia and TNA's Frontline. WarGames took place this past Sunday on the WWE network from the CWC. And as takeovers go, Matt, this one didn't disappoint, did it?
I thought it was a solid show. I wasn't blown away by it like some WarGames episode past, but I thought I thought it was a solid show.
I think the best match was the first match of the night, Women's WarGames. That was, in my opinion, that was the best match of the night. What do you think?
I thought the best match of the night was was Champ and Thatcher, honestly.
And you were not a Thatcher
they-
fan either. So
I thought they beat the fucking shit out of each other.
women's war games, man, I tell you what, they did some innovative shit, and then the booking of it was tremendous in my opinion. Because the good girls had the advantage, which the good people do not hardly ever have the advantage at war games. But I like that they mixed it up, had the good girls have the advantage. But then when it came time for Io to come in, they kept preventing her from getting into the ring. I thought that was great booking. That basically gave the heels the advantage, anyways. So, well, or evened it up at least at the time before Candice came in. And God, I have not heard a definite, but get well soon, Candice. It sounds like she might have broke her arm.
I hear it's broken.
But
Sucks.
Well done, and God, how about Io putting a trash can over her head and jumping off the cage? That's fucking nuts. I loved it. Shotzi coming out in a new tank. That was cool. It was great, and a big win for Raquel Gonzalez, getting the pin on Io Shirai to win for Team Candice. So fully expect her to probably be in the title picture. I would assume New Year's Eve will be my guess, Matt.
Probably.
I've been impressed with Raquel over the past couple of months, so I'm kind of happy that she's getting this spot. I would assume that she's getting this spot. They wouldn't have her win War Games if they ain't gonna push her. Plus, now that Candice, well, Dakota's already had her time. Candice is on the shelf for probably 2 months, I would assume. So, it's a good fresh matchup for the women's title. And I don't know if they put it on her, probably not, but you never know in NXT, do you, Matt?
Yeah, you never know. I don't foresee a title change, but who knows?
Finn Balor telling us that this Wednesday, all eyes go back to the Prince.
TikTok.
Oh yeah, the clock is ticking a little later in the show there. As Matt mentioned,
I'm just saying, when Balor comes out, I think we're going to see him too.
Yeah, I miss Karrion Kross too, man. As Matt mentioned, a classic match between Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. I said it on the show last week. These guys are going to beat the dog shit out of each other. And man, outside of MMA, I've not seen an ear bleed like that in a long time. That was sick. And it was good though. So are you coming around on Thatcher a little more now? A little bit.
I still don't like his gimmick.
I love his gimmick.
Or the character he portrays. But I definitely think they had a hell of a match.
To me, it helps him stand out, and I like it a lot. But yeah, him and Ciampa had a fantastic match. Ciampa,
do ya?
Oh, you gonna really?
Do ya? Saying.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
A very very clever finish too, where Thatcher got held up and then fell into Willow's Bell to get the win after a tremendous 17-minute match between those two gentlemen. And for time stamp people that want to know, women's War Games went 35.5. Dexter Loomis and Cameron Grimes had in a strap match was up next. I thought this was good. It was good.
I thought it was the worst thing on the show.
Hands down. I mean, compared to everything, yes, it was good. But it was 5th out of 5 for all the matches. Dexter Loomis gets the win. Some innovative stuff there, but it was good. It was not great, but it was good. Commercial for Keith Lee. They do a WWE 24 documentary that aired after War Games. I've yet to see it yet, but I will check that out soon. Then a video aired with a vulture. And then we heard TikTok. So Karrion Kross coming back soon. Maybe tomorrow. NXT North American Championship on the line. Triple threat match. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. I thought Leon Ruff had a good showing. I don't know where he goes from here, but probably back to jobbing. But the people in the scream masks definitely had an impact in the match, including the end and your new and 3-time NXT North American champion. Nobody's even held it twice outside of Johnny, right? Because Johnny was the first.
I'm pretty sure nobody's held it more than once, and now he's held it 3 times.
Yeah, Johnny, I think, was the first ever 2-time champion when he won it.
I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
They go up the ramp. Austin goes up the ramp with the person that helped him win the match, and that guy pulls off his mask to reveal it is Austin Theory. He didn't quit the business, Marks. I love the line though when Austin goes, "It was me all along," just like Vince McMahon did to Steve Austin way back in the day, back in the Attitude days, when he revealed himself as the higher power. Did we see that coming back in '99, Vince being the higher power, or was that just a complete? I can't remember if that was something we supposed to see coming or if it was a complete.
I think a lot of people saw it coming.
I wasn't really on the dirt sheets or the internets as much. I mean, shit, I didn't even know internet existed till like 95 or 96, 97. And then we got the fast internets at college, which was great. But I wasn't really on the dirt sheets back then. So I think it's a good pairing, Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano. I think Austin was a pretty good fit with the short time he had with Rollins. So I think him and Gargano working together is going to be a good thing. So I think be interesting. The little Gargano family stable, unfortunately, Candice getting hurt kind of sets that back a little bit. But maybe Candice could still be on TV. We'll see what happens with that. But I kind of like the Gargano family stable. Matt, you?
I mean, it's all right. I still don't see the big deal in Austin Theory. So anything he's involved in kind of diminishes in my eyes. I don't think he's that great. I really don't. I don't think he's going to be the future of this business or anything that everybody proclaimed him to be when he was in Evolve. Look, he's a fine in-ring performer, but when he gets up to the main roster, we already saw how well Vince used him when he was up there for a month or two. He's gonna get more of the same, if not worse, the next time he makes it up there. He's nothing special.
And the main event, the men's WarGames match. Can we just sit back and appreciate Pat McAfee once more? Dude brought it in his second ever pro wrestling match, didn't he?
That he did.
Man. Dude just continues to and just see him selling it with a neck brace on his show the next day.
It was funny.
That was great.
He pretty much said it. He pretty much said NXT is his life now. So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Good, because he is tremendous on the mic, in the ring, ×2 there. We've seen with Cole one-on-one, and now his second fucking match ever is WarGames. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And not only that, he fucking excelled. It was great. And this was as all War Games matches are. It was a fucking war full of great moments. I mean, McAfee moonsaulting off the top of the cage in his second wrestling match ever. That was great. I loved the tables with each member of Undisputed Era on them. That was a nice touch. Though only one guy went through his own table. That was Roddy. All the other tables were McAfee's team going through them, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Fish drove. I think Birch through his own Fish's table. We had the 2 attempts to go through Cole's table off the turnbuckle when the table didn't break right away. And then Cole through McAfee through Kyle's table. Man. WarGames does not ever disappoint, and so it's something to always look forward to this time of year. 45-minute match. Very awesome match. But I'd notch it personally a step below. I would put women's WarGames 1, this one 2, and then Ciampa and Thatcher 3, all very close to each other though, in terms of quality. And overall a fun night as NXT Takeover always is. Any other thoughts on Takeover, Matt?
No. It's just I thought it was a solid show. I think Loomis and what's his face stopped it from
Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, that idiot.
To the moon.
Stopped it from being great. It was fun. It was a good show. I wasn't blown away by it. I feel, and I will say one thing. That Bully Ray pointed out on Busted Open this week, and I kind of agree with him. They need to NXT needs to stop turning quote unquote war games into lethal lockdown. All the excess of weaponry that's being thrown into the ring each and every match is unnecessary, and that wasn't what War Games was ever built on to begin with.
No.
So
no, it was just if you ever watch those ones with Dusty against the Horsemen, that's just fists.
Yes, exactly. Like if you feel like you need all that weaponry to get your point across, then maybe you're not telling the story right.
Though the tables with each Undisputed Era guy on them, that was good because I mean
it was a fine storytelling point.
Yeah,
but I totally get what Bully was saying. Though.
It's McAfee being a cocky dick, but yeah, I understand. Yeah, somebody gets out of the cage and then runs in and spends 5 minutes throwing weapons into the. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that. And I guarantee you. Well, I won't guarantee it, but whenever we get to Blood and Guts, I don't think you're going to see many weapons in Blood and Guts, man. I can't guarantee it, but I'll semi-guarantee it. Friday Night SmackDown starts with how
I hope there are no weapons in Blood and Guts.
Yeah,
Friday night. I really, really hope there isn't. And I hope there's a roof.
Yeah.
I really want there to be a roof.
Yeah.
Like the old school War Games match.
There's got to be.
And, and I know NXT loves to not have a roof so they can do their crazy dives and shit. But like, if you really want to do an old school War Games, we don't need the weaponry and we need a fucking roof.
Cody's going to do it like Daddy.
That's what I certainly would assume. So
speaking of Cody,
fingers crossed.
Speaking of Cody, did you watch Sammy's vlog?
Yes. I always watch Sammy's vlog.
I hadn't watched. There's just so much to watch. I hadn't watched it in a while. And
that's where Cody is. If you want to see Cody weekly, since he's not on being the Elite anymore, Cody's on Sammy's vlog. I would say almost consistently every single week. So it's always I always find them entertaining.
I hadn't watched it in a while.
They have good stories going on over there.
Yeah, I noticed that, and they've upped the production value on that a lot. So, I finally had some time to catch it this week. Most of it, I didn't get it all done, but we don't have Dynamite to talk about because, well, we did that on the last show. But we can talk some AEW, some BTE. How cool is it to see behind the scenes Sting getting directed onto the stage?
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
And there was another Sammy recorded it from another from like the corner of Daly's place.
Oh, I haven't
from
gotten
like
to that part.
almost like a fan perspective.
Oh.
You got to see like the crowd and stuff react. It was really cool.
John Silver taking 2 takes to cut a promo up for his PT. He was calling it the AEW something, and that tripped him up. But he introduces the number 1 contenders match for his BTE title, and they play. Hey, Matt, they play Uno. Evil Uno's playing Uno. I hope the party played Uno.
I hope the party played Uno too, my friend.
We'll find out tomorrow.
I'm gonna go look on their page right now because sometimes they do the premiere.
Oh yeah,
premiering tomorrow. I'm gonna look and see if they have it listed.
So one by one, gentlemen show up to step into the Uno game to become number 1 contender. Evil Uno, Trent, Aaron Solo. I just hit the wrong button. Aaron Solo. God, who else was in there? Chucky T. Orange Cassidy acting like he wants to get in, but he's like, nah. Typical Orange Cassidy. Nah. Then Sean Dean, is that his name? The captain?
Yeah. Yep.
Is he a solo guy or is he in a tag team?
I think he's done both.
But mainly probably a solo guy. He's not in a team like the Acclaimed or...
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's in a...
official team.
Yes. He's teamed with people on Dark, but I don't think anything could, be, what I mean.
Yeah. And we talk about him a lot because, well, he won the Uno match. He's going to be facing Silver in something with Skittles off the wall. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll find out Monday.
I'm not seeing any advertisement for next week's Uno, which is worrisome. I hope we get one.
People were worried once Creed started doing the with the G4 if he was going to be available as much to do up, down, down stuff.
Man, I'm going to be extremely disappointed if we lose.
The party.
The Uno, the party. Yeah, I will not be happy.
Just have me fill in for Creed. We'll keep the party going. Hey, Breeze, what color do you want?
They could have a rotating 4th every week.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he can't, if Creed can't be there every week, they can have a rotating 4th to do that. They have plenty of people on the show. They can do Styles, they can do Joe, they can do Corbin. They could do the members of BRE. But
you got some left, right people there.
Yeah, it just shouldn't be. Don't wipe out the party. Don't do it.
I know. I just bought the T-shirt. Damn it!
I
bought the green screen T-shirt of the 4 guys on the Black Friday sale. They replayed the Acclaim talking shit to the Bucks and then getting attacked by TH2, and then they did the gimmick where Nick spent a lot of time in the trash can, and it smells. Little segment with Diamante and Dasha and Ortiz. They're looking for Alex and Matt. Alex drank the Kool-Aid, didn't he? Poor Alex. He was. What did they put in the Kool-Aid? I think they put some of 10's cocaine in that Kool-Aid.
Will you stop?
Will you stop?
Oh, that running gag. So Silver and Reynolds try to put whiskey traps to lead to their party, and they kept drinking it though, so that didn't quite help. But then they eventually set the traps, and then proceeded to get drunk on 2 handles of Jack Daniels, which was pretty entertaining segment there, to say the least. We saw the first shot get poured, and we'll see even more later on in the show. Kaz comes across Brandon Cutler, and he's like, "Well, it's nice that you're not being a fucking mark this week." Then Cutler turns around wearing a "Do ya" shirt. You don't wear you mark. You don't wear other wrestlers' shirts. He's like, "I wanted to get it over." No wonder you're not over. Fuck, I love Kaz and Cutler, man. Oh, they're great. Does Kaz need anger management?
Kaz absolutely needs anger management.
Oh man. Marco Stunt wondering why Matt Hardy's dressed like that. Oh, Matt Hardy. We come back to the Dark Order, and 5 is doing a body shot off of 10. And Colt never drinks. He's not a drinker. Oops. And then we cut to Cutler accidentally running into Sammy as he's filming his vlog. I say accidentally in air quotes because we all know. We all know, don't we? We all know. Crossover. It wasn't an accident. Matt Hardy trying to berate Private Party now because Matt Hardy's apparently turning heel. What do you think that's going to lead to?
I honestly don't know.
The 1 Minute Man thing in the trailer with Sam on Sammy's vlog was pretty funny though, wasn't it? Oh, and we get the Bucks running into Kenny before his match. How awkward was this, huh?
Poor Bucks.
Hangman saw the trail, so he follows it into the party, and he was all set to party with the Dark Order, but then he heard Justin Roberts say, "And new," even though I did it more like Fink. So
that was definitely a Fink, sir.
Well, I sure as hell can't do Justin Roberts. Don't even ask me to do John Moxley there. Maybe at the end of a show. So Hangman abruptly leaves once he finds out that Kenny Omega is the new world champion. And then the Bucks walk into the celebration room where Brandon Cutler is wanting to party, but Kenny ain't there. And he's like, and Cutler's like, "What's the problem?" Well, he turned heel. Dun dun dun. It'd be interesting to see the dynamic of the Bucks and Kenny going forward. Where do you see it? What do you think happens? Bucks stay. Do the Bucks stay good, or are they going to be the evil EVPs?
Yeah, I guess we'll see where they go tomorrow. I'm sure the story continues tomorrow on Dynamite.
I can see the Bucks turned it heel elite. I could see it. I could. SmackDown for Friday started just like NXT, as well as Raw, with everybody on the stage paying tribute to Pat Patterson. Great tribute video for him as well there. Roman Reigns comes out and continues to be a dick. This time he's a huge dick against with Kayla Braxton for asking stupid questions. And mentioned Heyman mentioning Jey Uso's main event at SmackDown the last 5 weeks. I did not realize that. I guess 6, including this week, huh? Kevin Owens comes out and challenges Reigns to TLC, which is a week from Sunday, December 20th. And so there's the challenge we saw coming. How about Bayley tapping out to Natalya in 6 minutes after holding the title for 380 days? That was a little odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't really understand what they're doing with her right now. I don't get it at all.
Then we had something cool later on in the show. We got a little something cool with the what they called the Pat Patterson tribute match. 6 former Intercontinental champion, well, 5 former, and 1 current Intercontinental champion in a 6-man tag. Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, and Big E taking on Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Sami Zayn. Big E with that new music, Matt.
Yep, from Wale.
At least he's still doing the New Day rocks and stuff like that to at least still feel like he's part of the New Day. Like I said, once we get crowds back, I think there's going to be a trade or something that makes the New Day together again. Good guys win the match, obviously, because we're doing a Pat Patterson tribute. So I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. Kevin Owens interviewed by Caleb Braxton and a random Kalisto interruption. That was, I mean, about as random as it gets. Then Otis shows up as they talk about their match later on. We got the Carmella Sasha Banks interview where they're in 2 different locations because they can't be in the same place at the same time. Thought it was okay. I don't know. Do you think Carmella takes title off of Sasha?
No.
No. Murphy with the Mysterios comes out to take on King Corbin once again, but King Corbin not alone, comes with 2 hooded men. And who are those men? They are clean-shaven Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, returning after they were in purgatory because of their idiot leader Jackson Riker. And then I see Uncle Dave saying he expects Riker to get fired, and then they have him debuted him as Elias's bodyguard on Main Event this week. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck's going on here, man?
I don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, Vince probably doesn't either. And so Corbin gets the win, obviously, with the help of the 2 new guys at his side. And then Main Event, Kevin Owens and Otis took on Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. And I love the ending of this, Matt, where Reigns just went off on KO. I thought this was a good ending. It was a good SmackDown overall.
It was fine. But SmackDown's been consistently good over the last several months. So
it's the A show. So
WWE, absolutely it is, between Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. Raw, on the other hand, it was.
Ugh, do we even have to talk about it?
A little brutal. Randy Orton started out with a promo. Asuka and Baszler probably be better if it was on pay-per-view and had more time.
I'm tired of seeing Baszler lose every week while they protect fucking I can't work. My life depended on it. Nia Jax.
Would you like some bro nuts?
I'm good, bro.
Bro. The whole awkward segments with Riddle are getting awkward. Dana Brooke.
I think they're exactly what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Dana Brooke.
As long as Vince is enjoying it, that's all that matters, and he'll continue to get his push.
Ricochet and Dana Brooke took on Slapdick and Reckoning. This match went 2 minutes, and Retribution lost again, and Reckoning lost again. So I'm assuming we get Mia Yim very soon. She gets out of Retribution, and
Be nice if Mercedes Martinez shows up and yanks her out of it, and they form a tag team on the main roster. That would be cool as shit.
Or Keith Lee is like, come on, wife.
No, I'm just saying, like, Mercedes Martinez was in the group and then disappeared.
Yeah, and
it would be cool if she came back as Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah,
and convinced him to walk away from the group. And I think, look, the women's division needs some more tag teams.
Yeah,
and I think Yim and Martinez would be a really badass tag team.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, the rumors were after they mysteriously pulled Mercedes Martinez out of Retribution that she was going back to NXT, but we've yet to see her on NXT yet. So, hey, at least Ricochet.
I heard she asked to be removed.
Oh.
and honestly, more power to her. I you know what? Even if WWE never uses her again, she knew that the angle and storyline was fucking trash, and she was just like, I don't want to be a part of it. And massive respect to her for doing that. And I'm really getting sick and tired of the members of Retribution trying to save this storyline on social media. Y'all can't overcome bad booking. Just give it the fuck up and let it go. The stable is fucking dead, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. This isn't AEW. You're not the Dark Order. You can't be repaired. Just enough.
You know how they could fix it?
By ending it. Sting shows up and beats all their asses.
Yeah, it ends it there. Miz TV with AJ Styles, and Sheamus comes out, and then McIntyre comes out and they kind of clean some house, but AJ does not get involved. He's being smart.
I'm telling you what, man. I really want Miz and Morrison to break up.
I've seen on some sites like Bleacher Report saying that they got Morrison as a dark horse to win the Rumble.
What?
Yeah, I'm like,
oh, shut the fuck up.
Not the way he's been booked.
Yeah, there's no fucking chance in hell. You know who's winning the Rumble?
Biggie.
I'll give you three names right now.
Biggie.
Biggie, Edge, or Keith Lee. Done. It's one of those three. That's who's winning the fucking Rumble.
I think it's Biggie. I think it's Biggie, or Biggie.
And look, you can't say it's Biggie, or Big E if Big E's currently in a feud right now over the Intercontinental Championship.
But is he, though?
They certainly implied that he was.
Brian pinned Zayn.
Yeah, but Big E got in that thing with him in backstage like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then they forgot about it.
Well, they could be setting up a multiple challenger Intercontinental title match at TLC. You know, I'm not guaranteeing Big E in that spot, especially if Roman Reigns is gonna, if Roman's gonna hold that title into the WrestleMania. I don't think the winner of the Rumble will come from SmackDown, because I think they're gonna put The Rock in there to face Roman. You know, unless The Rock backs out, you can't tell me everything that they're doing right now.
Yeah, but the Rumble
the plan isn't for
the Rumble winner gets
for Roman
to
and The Rock.
The Rumble winner gets to choose.
But look, you put Big E.
He wins. He chooses
to face the Raw champion.
Yeah,
and then he's back. And then he's back on the same show with the New Day.
Exactly.
They tried to separate them to begin with.
Exactly, and that's how you get it back.
They're not going to do Big E versus Drew McIntyre. It's not going to happen.
It's going to be Big E. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's not going to happen, man.
I mean,
look, you know how big of a fan I am of Big E.
You don't know. I mean, at this point,
it's not happening.
At this point, it doesn't matter who's fighting for the title. If it's Big E against the Miz, I mean, we all know what's closing the show is going to be Roman Reigns and Rock. So,
well, see, I wouldn't. That actually wouldn't mind if it was Big E and the Miz, but.
Yeah,
that sounds more like of a match at Backlash.
Oh my God, how great was that?
Instead of a match at WrestleMania.
How great was that? How great was that briefcase toss?
Oh, dude, he freaking wrecked the set.
That thing went far. Kofi took on Shelton as a New Day continued to feud with the Hurt Business. Kofi got the win in like 4 minutes, and then they whine some more, and then another match happens, and Cedric gets a win. They've been booking Cedric really good lately. So I've been happy.
It's certainly been interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Hurt Business. I'm just not a fan of this booking right now. Not a fan of the whine after a loss, and so then we get another match, and then we get Vince's 50-50 booking boner.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when you're 50-50 on the same show. Like, you can't even wait till the next week to do the 50-50. You got to do it right then and there.
You're 50-50 in the same quarter hour. What are you talking about?
So bad, dude. And they wonder why no one gets over.
Yeah.
50-50 booking, no one ever gets over in 50-50 booking. Show me one person that's ever gotten over in 50-50 booking. Like, fucking seriously. It doesn't fucking work.
I showed highlights from Tribute to the Troops. I did not watch that. Did you?
Dude, nobody watched it because like no one can find it.
Yeah. It's on
like,
Fox.
I went to set it up on my DVR Saturday night so I could record it on Sunday for whenever it was on, and I couldn't find it on Fox at all. And I'm hearing some Fox channels just didn't air it at all. Like they handled that very poorly.
Drew McIntyre, Sheamus took on Miz and Morrison and AJ Styles in a 3-on-2 handicap match. And the big story here was Sheamus accidentally brogue kicking Drew McIntyre. Miz, Morrison, and Styles get the win. After that kick, AJ hit the phenomenal forearm on Sheamus. And Drew and Sheamus stare each other down after the match. After commercial, after we saw Lana's or Asuka's pep talk to Lana, Sheamus and Drew went face to face backstage and says, "You know what exactly is about to happen." And they went to commercial, little tease. Come back from commercial, and Drew and Sheamus are beating the shit out of each other. And then Pat Buck gets into the middle of it, and then all of a sudden, Sheamus and Drew are friends once more. They put Pat Buck through a table and asked, "Hey, you want to go get a pint?" "Yeah, sure." And seriously, I think of the shit show of Raw, I think the Drew and Sheamus thing has been the best thing on it. And like I said on Twitter a few times, you don't need to have Sheamus turn on Drew. That's the obvious, and you don't have to have that happen. And I mean, you thought, oh, it's going to happen, and then they became friends after they tried to break up the fight. You know, I honestly, I expect WWE to book it by the numbers probably eventually and have Sheamus turn, but they may not. And this has kind of been one of the few interesting things on Raw. So I liked that Drew Gulak put on Twitter, "Big fight at work today," because he was like in right there. He was filming it with his phone right there, literally in the fight. So I thought that was kind of funny. Bobby Lashley taking on Jeff Hardy. Before that, Riddle was offering his bro nuts up to Jeff, and also wanted to know if he wanted it to be a tag team. Jeff seemed interested, but hey, he's got to go have a match. And Riddle still showed up during the match, and but Hardy lost after the missing the Swanton. Lashley put on the Hurt Lock. Would not let go of the Hurt Lock, so Riddle got into the ring to break it up. As we're clearly going to Lashley and Riddle at TLC. And then the end of the show, Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously, after the RKO and the pin, the lights go out, and then it changes from Bray Wyatt to the Fiend. I thought that was pretty cool. Cool ending to Raw, at least. So that was kind of unique. But other than that, yeah. Long 3 hours if you watch it live. Glad I didn't, Matt. All right, let's talk about some headlines before we get out of here. Not a 3-hour show tonight, Matt. I didn't even feel like 3 hours last Thursday when we recorded, did it?
It felt like it was a pretty long show.
Yeah, that's because. Congratulations to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins welcoming Ro Lopez to the world on yesterday, actually. So congratulations to everybody involved there. And we're moving along. Some Q&A on PW Insider popped up here a couple of days ago, and I noticed this myself. I've seen Sonya Deville active on social media lately. She posted a video, reposted a video of her entrance on Instagram, and so is that a sign that she's returning to the WWE? Mike Johnson saying not an indicator, but I am thinking it might be. Just my 2 cents. Somebody asked, "Are there any?"
I don't think she'll be back until the court case is done.
When is that?
I don't know. I think he keeps getting messed around with. I don't think we'll see her until that's all done and situated.
Somebody get ready to laugh, Matt. Somebody asked Mike Johnson, there have been rumors over the last few days that Gallows and Anderson are jumping to AEW. Any truth? And Mike goes, no. Doesn't mean that we won't see them in AEW.
I think we will see Gallows and Anderson in AEW, but it's not going to be a permanent deal. I definitely think we see them. I think we might see them in AEW before we see Rich Swann.
Some viewership. SmackDown dropped about 120,000 viewers to just a hair over 2 million this past week. Miz and Mrs. sitting at about 500,000. Total Bellas hit 300,000. I wonder when that gets canceled. And Raw slightly down, barely 4,000, only 4,000 difference from last week.
It was so minimal.
Yep. Arturo Ruas from NXT is undergoing surgery on his shoulder or bicep, so he'll be out for a little bit of time. Renee Paquette announced her and Jon Moxley announced they're having a girl via a cake reveal on Instagram, and so congrats to them. So tribute to the troops. It looks like a 10-man tag. I mean, this is a live show, basically. All the good guys are going to win. Sasha and Bianca against Bayley and Natalya. So Bianca beats Bayley, and then eventually it's going to be Bianca Sasha WrestleMania. You feel that?
I mean, I would love that. I don't know if that's what we're going to get. But I think that would be a great WrestleMania match.
I mean, it feels like they're going towards Bayley and Bianca sometime soon. And so I expect Bianca to go over there, and then
Bayley needs to win a fucking match.
Yeah, and then Miz took on Drew McIntyre. It's 3 matches. Candice LeRae is believed to have broken a bone in her arm when Shotzi nailed the senton splash off of the ladder onto a chair. Slated to get x-rays. That was as of yesterday. I don't think I've heard an update since then. Gargano's lip busted open, required stitches. Fish had a laceration in his elbow. Lorcan pretty banged up, but the belief is he won't miss much action. Took a while to get him out of the cage, word was. And there you go. That's the updates from WarGames. They announced on WarGames that NXT New Year's Evil will happen on their January 6th episode on the USA Network. Plan is to build it similar to Halloween Havoc that we saw earlier this year. New Year's Evil, a name also used by WCW to promote a Monday Nitro in 1999. The name initially conceived by Eric Bischoff with plans to have a New Year's Eve pay-per-view that year that would be a combination of WCW wrestling and a Kiss concert. But the idea was shot down by Turner officials at the time. Instead, they used it for the name of a Nitro episode. No, I was Super J Cup is going against Impact this Saturday, Matt. That's and Final Resolution, is that live or taped?
I believe it's taped.
I thought so too.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure they've taped all of their.
Well, it has to be because Chris Bay's
all their
Super
stuff
J Cup
leading up to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've taped all their stuff leading into the end of the year.
First round matchups. This will take place on Fight TV as well. First round matchups at the Thunder Studios in LA. Chris Bay takes on Clark Connors in first round match. TJP against ACH. Ray Horace against Blake Christian, and Leo Rush against El Fantasmo, who was the 2019 winner. In non-tournament action, Hukuleo and Kenta take on Carl Fredericks and Rin Narita. Congrats to Brian Pillman Jr. The other night, he won the OVW Heavyweight Championship. And he says he plans to challenge Nick Aldis for the NWA title. ROH Final Battle is this Friday, headlined by Brody King against Roosh.
Is it this Friday? I thought it was next Friday.
Oh, sorry. Next Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you're off a week, pal.
Yeah, it happens. You see Roosh dropping to Brody or no? You've been watching Ring of Honor lately.
Well, Roosh hasn't been on TV since they've started the whole taping settings. And the fact that they're bringing him in for this, I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing it just to drop the title off of him, unless he's going to be more active going forward.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Tony Deppen, LSG, Josh Woods, and Dak Draper. Fatal 4-way winner gets an ROH television title match. And that is going to happen that night as Dragon Lee takes on the victor of that match. 6-man tag team championship. Mexi Squad takes on Shane Taylor and the Soldiers of Savagery. There is a first ever ROH Pure Rules tag team match. And EC3 taking on Jay Briscoe, which should be a good one. Update on Eva Marie. PW Insider can confirm that she is listed as a member of the roster internally, but she has not been officially assigned to a brand. Obviously, there's been teases over the last couple months that she may be showing up, but she has yet to do so. WWE has applied for the trademark for Tyler Rust, which assumes to be for NXT wrestler Rust Taylor, who was a part of the signing class last week. So apparently will be his name.
What's Tyler Rust doing in the Impact Zone?
Some bouts added to Final Battle. Tag champions Lethal and Jonathan Gresham take on Mark Briscoe and PCO. How the hell did those two guys get together?
I don't know.
Also,
I missed this week's. I haven't seen this weekend's episode, so it's probably answered there.
It looks like Jonathan Gresham's doing double duty as he's going to defend the Pure Championship against Flip Gordon. And the Revival of the Kingdom, baby. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett take on Vincent and Bateman. Daryl's got to be excited about that.
Big Matt Taven guy.
Shaq, as we previously mentioned, is going to address AEW with Tony Schiavone on tomorrow's episode. So we got Sting, we got Kenny, and we got Shaq. AEW Dark for this week. Looks like they cut back on it a little bit. They don't have 85 matches on the card this week. Brian Cage takes on Danny Limelight. I'm sure he's going to see the limelight after that match. The Gun Club take on Sean Dean. What? This is weirdly worded. Oh, there's three. I forget. There's three members of the Gun Club now, isn't there?
Yeah, Billy and his two kids.
The other son's in there now. What's his name? Austin's brother. I forget.
I'm blanking at the moment. I'm sorry. I can't remember. I mean, I can load up AEW's roster and find out.
Colton.
There we go.
Colton and Austin Gunn with Billy. The Gun Club take on Sean Dean.
He's not even on the roster.
Sean Dean. He might be Nightmare Factory.
Probably.
Gun Club take on Sean Dean, Sean Maluda, and Ryzen. 10 from the Dark Order takes on Aaron Solo. Colt Cabana and Alex Reynolds team up to face the Varsity Blondes. Peter Avalon against Louis Valley. Brandon Cutler against Fuego del Sol. Baron Black and Sonny Kiss. Hybrid 2 take on a guy's name I cannot pronounce. Sothiera Chun tagging with VSK. The Acclaimed taking on John Cruz and Michael Nakazawa. And the Jurassic Express take on Falco and Mike Magnum. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches on Dark. They've gone upwards to 16 to 18 lately. So Punky Brewster, sitcom from the 80s, getting a revival on Peacock, and a couple of WWE superstars are going to appear in that reboot. Obviously, Peacock has a relationship with WWE as well, with their programming in there. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are set to film scenes for it. It looks like the original Punky, Soleil Moon Frye, is I'm assuming
she's playing the mom, so it's actually in canon. It's not really like I thought it was a reboot, but essentially it's just
kind of like Girl Meets World.
I guess you could call it like a continuation.
Yep.
So I might have been in the minority, but I enjoyed Girl Meets World.
Never did catch it.
It wasn't as good as Boy Meets World, obviously, but I thought it was a nice follow up to see where those characters, end up all those years later. I thought they did some cool stuff on there.
Yeah, kind of like Fuller House as well.
Yeah, kind of like Fuller House.
Girl Meets World or Boy Meets World was one of the best sitcoms.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I mean, that whole Friday night lineup,
Oh, yeah, TGIF was the shit.
Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Full House,
Family
Matters, man, it was loaded.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I very much enjoyed Friday nights on there. And
there's
some of the later stuff they put on there with like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, Sabrina's girl.
Cooper and stuff like that. I enjoyed all of it.
Sister Sister was teaching. Oh yeah.
There was a lot of good underrated sitcoms during that
and
time.
They just kept one would go and they would just plug in another one and it'd be great. Man, I was in love with Clarissa from Clarissa Explains It All, so I definitely was a fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's some streaming service has Step by Step. I think probably Hulu. So I watched a few episodes of that recently. Been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah,
so that is set.
Seen it in ages.
Devon Dudley also expected to, or is going to be on that show as well.
I don't think he's on the show. I think he's working in he's working in the producer choreographer role for the show. Like he's going to be like putting together the match between Charlotte and Bliss. That's my understanding. I don't think he's actually going to be on the show.
Oh, okay. So that's set to come into Peacock in 2021. The Thunderdome has officially exited the Amway Center and will be set up for this Friday at the Tropicana Field in Tampa. or St. Petersburg if you're a geography Nazi. Mike Johnson says there's no word on rating for tribute for the troops, but we're working on it. Well, considering
I don't think you're going to get one. I
Yeah,
think it's impossible.
considering
The show was never solidified in an actual time slot at any across all the Fox channels. I don't think you're going to be able to get one.
Nope.
That's why you can't get Ring of Honor's ratings every week, because they're on random
Syndication.
channels at different times, all throughout the weekend.
Yeah, that's syndication, so it's kind of hard to do that.
I mean, like Tribute to the Troops was kind of the same situation this weekend.
Yeah.
Some Foxes carried it sometimes, some Foxes carried it another time, some Foxes didn't carry it at all. And at that point, like, how the hell are you supposed to figure out ratings on something like that? Because, I mean, honestly, it was just, from my understanding, like the channels that did carry it was just wedged in between NFL programming. So you would have to take the balance of Tribute to the Troops with whatever the NFL game was getting, and it's too difficult to do.
Yep. Matt Riddle has filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit from Samantha Tavel. More to come on that later. Not later today, but eventually. First look, John Alba at John Alba, JONALBA. If you're interested, showed a first look at the Thunderdome at Tropicana Field. Way that's set up, man.
I was disappointed.
I don't see how fans. Well, if you I guess if you take the video, what video boards?
From my understanding, and this is just what I'm hearing, there's no way 100% confirmed, but from the people that I've spoken to, from my understanding, is they're setting it up in the middle of the field to emulate the arena experience. And if they want to bring in fans for, let's say, the Rumble or a pay-per-view like that, they will expand the set to include the actual stadium itself.
Okay.
Because right now, all they're doing right now is they're literally just making their own mini arena in the middle of a baseball stadium. So, like, I don't even think when you see it on Friday night, you're going to be able to tell that they're in a baseball stadium.
That'll be interesting
because it's not really being designed to look like that. So I feel like if they want to bring fans in for the Rumble, they can just adjust the Thunderdome to accommodate the entire baseball stadium, and then they fix it back to the regular thing for Monday night. Because it was explained to me that if you do all these shows for the next several months inside of a gigantic looking baseball stadium, and then you go back to regular arena shows after WrestleMania, they will look small in comparison to
Vince
how WWE was utilizing things right now.
Vince sure as hell doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You know how Vince is.
Vince never wants to look small.
To me, right now, I think you want to look as big as possible to attract viewers, but clearly Vince has a different idea. So, whatever.
WWE Network has released the best of Keith Lee, hosted by Matt Camp. He does an opening of Lee's career prior to WWE. Then they show Lee against Marcel Bartel from NXT in 2018, Survivor Series in 2019, and then a bunch of stuff from 2020. Kind of weird that
if they don't have any matches on there with Dominik Dijakovic, they fucked it up. Because I would say 90% of Keith Lee's best matches since being in WWE have all been with that guy.
One from Takeover Portland.
That's insane. There should be at least 2 or 3 of them on there.
The full lineup is Bartel, Survivor Series, the Fatal 4-Way for the number 1 contender, which includes Dijakovic with Priest and Grimes. number one contendership for the North American title on an NXT episode. Lee and Strong for the North American title on NXT. Then Takeover Portland, as I mentioned. Gargano, Balor, and Lee for the North American title on NXT in June, from June this year. Lee against Cole, winner take all at a Great American Bash. Then Lee and Orton from Payback, and then Lee and McIntyre from Raw in September. And even more matches coming in for Final Battle. Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus will take on Fred Yehi. How do you say his last name? Yahi?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. And Wheeler Yuta in the first ever, that's going to be your tag match for the Pure Rules. And Dan Housen against Brian Johnson.
It's Danhausen.
I assume not the lead singer of AC/DC, Brian Johnson.
I'm going to say no.
And WWE announced they're seeking fans with rare memorabilia to share their collections and stories. Put out on Twitter, at WWE Universe, put on the Twitter today. WWE is on a quest to find lost but not forgotten wrestling memorabilia. It's time to unearth your collection of prized wrestling possessions and email memorabilia at wwecorp.com with a photo and tell us about your memorabilia. I wonder how many dick pics that email is going to receive.
I love how Zack Ryder retweeted it and just said LOL.
The rarer the treasure, the better the story.
Because honestly, like this show that they're going to be doing that's going to start Triple H and Stephanie.
His idea.
If they would have had Cardona and Myers doing the show, it would have been awesome.
I bet that was Ryder. I bet Ryder pitched that.
It would have been great. It would have been like you remember the show Toy Hunter?
I will not be surprised if Ryder pitched it, got turned down, and then WWE says, we're going to use it anyways.
Toy Hunter was a great show.
Well, that's going to do it for
people like Cardona and Myers in that role for wrestling memorabilia would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
Time to start the show.
It's gonna do it for this edition with us singing. With us singing, that'll end the show. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you gotta do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically on a Wednesday. And you can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The link to that is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, as well as Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Just hit the pin post there to find the links. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw of Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Make sure you tune in to AEW Dynamite tonight on TNT. Don't forget about Shaq. Shaq won't be there.
Hey, Cody.
Talking to Tony.
Hey, Cody. How's my ass taste?
I hope he doesn't ask that. I really hope.
Tonight was hotly anticipated, as you could tell on the internets. And Impact delivered.
Internets, eh?
Yeah. Impact delivered. It was fun tonight, and I liked the end. These guys behind me here had a good final segment of Impact. Impact itself was good, so that was a good showing for those that may not watch it regularly. I assume Impact's probably picking up some new fans. They're definitely going to in the short term. So, and now we just come to AEW and see what the hell. I mean, there's probably going to be some bombshells dropped there.
I'm really hoping for a big number tomorrow night.
Million.
I'm hoping.
A milli.
I think if they can hit 1 million tomorrow night, that'd be so fucking cool.
I mean, they cracked low 900s last week.
Like 913,000, but their demo was so high, they tied for first place on cable for the evening with it was a college basketball game.
And
But
nobody,
I mean, just the fact that they placed number 1 on cable last Wednesday night in the demo is fucking huge.
and that's with nobody knowing Sting coming. So
Yeah, just on the hype of the show alone.
it's going to be a million.
I hope so. I think if they get 1 million viewers, like that'd be so freaking cool.
One more time. From Apple Act, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll catch you next week.